After my third deployment, when I finally returned home, I thought everything would feel like it always had, warm, comforting, like a reunion I could hold on to. But the reality was a cold slap. Lauren, my wife, had filed for divorce. Her words, written in the coldest ink, felt like a betrayal I could never have prepared for. "I've met someone better. He's here, and you're not. I filed for divorce. You'll hear from my lawyer." The house that had once been my sanctuary was now just a hollow shell of what it had been. There were no children running to greet me, no familiar smile from Lauren waiting at the door. Just silence. And that note, lying on the kitchen counter, its finality echoing through every inch of the house. What I didn't know then was that my return was going to trigger a chain of events. I hadn't expected a battle that would expose the depths of deception and force me to confront the lies I'd lived under for years. The weeks after my return were a blur. My lawyer, Alvarez, a quiet man with a calm demeanor, kept telling me to hold it together. "Don't let her bait you," he'd remind me, knowing how easily I could have lashed out. Lauren painted me as unstable and emotionally unfit, she claimed. I was absent for the kids and unworthy of any say in our family's future. And when I learned that she had already moved her new boyfriend, Brent, into our home, I thought I was going to explode. It felt like everything I had fought for, everything I had sacrificed, was slipping through my fingers. At every hearing, I sat in silence, holding my emotions in check. Lauren smirked, thinking that my quietness was weakness. But it wasn't. Surrender it was strategy. I was waiting, biding my time. My silence spoke volumes she couldn't understand. Then one fateful day in court, everything shifted. The courtroom was packed with tension, as Lauren sat there in her polished suit, her new boyfriend Brent, lounging casually in the gallery. He seemed to believe that all this, my kids, my house, everything was already his. Her lawyer paraded in with stacks of evidence, pages upon pages of accusations and motions, trying to paint me as the villain. But I had a single page, folded carefully and sealed. The judge, an older man with military pins on his robe, leaned forward, scrutinizing the papers before him. "Mrs. Grant," he began, looking at her with a hard, unwavering gaze, "you're asking for full custody of the children, the marital home, spousal support, and to deny visitation until a psychological evaluation is completed." Her lawyer puffed up proudly. "Yes, Your Honor. My client believes it's in the best interest of the children. Mr. Grant's deployment history proves that he's absent and unstable." The judge held up his hand to stop him, his focus now turning. "On me, Mr. Grant, do you have anything to add?" The room seemed to still as I stood. My heart was pounding, but I remained calm as I walked to the bench. I placed the paper down on the judge's desk, face down, as I spoke. "Sir, I respectfully submit this classified letter under seal for your eyes only. It concerns an active investigation involving my wife, her partner, and misuse of government resources." The judge flipped the letter over. I saw the moment. His eyes widened as he read the first few lines. His expression changed, and just as quickly, he snapped his gaze to the bailiff. "No one moves," he ordered sharply. "Close the doors. Immediately, clear the gallery. Only essential personnel remain." The chaos erupted in an instant. Lauren gasped, her smirk replaced by a look of panic. Brent stood up, but before he could make a move, 2 military police officers were already at his side. Her lawyer dropped, his binder to the floor in shock. The judge turned to the bailiff again. "Call the military police. Escort Mr. Grant to the adjacent chamber under protection. This court is now under federal advisement. You're in recess until further notice." As I waited in the private chamber, the military police stationed by the door, I tried to steady myself. I didn't know what would come next, but I was ready. The minutes dragged by before the judge returned, document still in hand, his reading glasses perched on his nose. He sat across from me, no longer just a judge, but a man piecing together a troubling puzzle. "I need you to confirm everything. In this report," he said, his voice steady but grave. "If even half of this is true, we're dealing with federal violations, not just a messy divorce." I nodded. "Yes, sir." That a letter I'd handed him detailed everything. While I was overseas, Lauren and Brent had been using my military credentials and defense contractor accounts to funnel money into fraudulent side businesses. They'd been accepting bribes, creating fake consulting work, and kickbacks from overseas. Companies the house Lauren wanted had been bought with embezzled funds. Using my name and resources, I had learned of it from a fellow service member back home who noticed discrepancies tied to my ID. I had stayed quiet, kept gathering evidence, collaborating with JA until I had everything I needed. Meanwhile, back in the courtroom, Lauren had been kept in a holding room. When she was finally brought back in, she was a completely different person, shoveled, eyes swollen, shaking hands. The cold confidence was gone. Judge Mallory turned to her, his voice cold as ice. "Mrs. Grant, you are no longer petitioning for custody or property. You are under preliminary investigation for federal fraud, misappropriation of government assets, and obstruction of justice." Lauren opened her mouth, but before she could speak, her new court-appointed public defender placed a hand on her shoulder. "Say nothing." Then it was time for the kids to speak. My oldest, Evan, just 10 years old, was called to the witness stand. His voice trembled, but when the judge asked if he felt safe with his mother, he shook his head. She always yelled. She let Brent say mean things about my dad. The room fell silent. The judge pressed on gently. "And your father?" Evan's voice broke. "He was always gone. He called me more than she did. He sent me videos, birthday gifts. He even made me a bedtime recording once." My heart ached. As I remembered that moment, a sandstorm in Kandahar, trying to stay connected to my kids, no matter the distance. Evan looked at me. "I want to live with Dad." That was all the judge needed to hear. The ruling was swift, and it hit hard. Week later, the courtroom filled once again. This time, Lauren was a shell of the woman who had once stood confidently before me. Her jewelry was gone, her hair tied back in a loose bun. Brent had turned on her, handed over records that sealed their fate. Judge Mallory didn't waste time. "The court hereby grants full legal and physical custody of the children to Mr. Michael Grant. The marital home and assets are awarded to Mr. Grant, as they were obtained through fraudulent means. Mrs. Grant, you are being referred for criminal prosecution at the federal level." The judge paused and then added, "This courtroom is dismissed, but justice is not finished." Outside, the press was already gathered. They weren't there for Lauren, but for me. I had invited every news outlet, sharing the full declassified dossier. Corruption, embezzlement, betrayal of a decorated veteran. My story became headline gold. Lauren's name trended, but not in the way she had hoped. Within days, her workplace issued a formal statement of termination. Her professional license was revoked. Even the military spouse charity she had once worked with issued a public statement condemning her actions as a betrayal to everyone who served. As for me, I moved with my kids to a quiet suburban neighborhood closer to my new unit. I started a veteran security firm, finally finding time not just to be a soldier, but to be a father. One night, as I tucked Evan in, he asked me, "Dad, are you happy now?" I kissed his forehead, smiled, and said, "I am now, 'cause no one gets to destroy our family and walk away clean." Lauren's fate was sealed. She was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison and ordered to pay restitution. But I never expected a dime. Brent, too, vanished under witness protection, jobless and disgraced. As for me, I rebuilt from the ashes with my kids by my side, my honor intact, and a quiet satisfaction in knowing that the truth, no matter how long it took, always finds its voice. And when it did, it roared. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you would have done in the comments below. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Lauren's story for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here, every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.